I got a Havoc video, bro. There's a Havoc video of his concerns. Let's check out what's Havoc's concerns. Let's see what Havoc's concerned about, guys. Let's get a little check here. Get a little check.
Hey guys, this is going to be a bit of a different video from me. Just like many of you, I have some concerns with Path of Exile 2. I don't believe it's the end of the world, but some changes in my opinion are warranted. So starting with the first concern, zones are just way too big. So unlocking our characters by pulling levers in the Matland waterways is not fun. The Azek bog is amazing, but it really should be a lot smaller. And I don't believe adding checkpoints is the solution. Like, look at this.
There it is.
Is this like really what we want? I don't think anyone wants this.
Jesus Christ, that looks bad. Holy fuck. Yo, Havoc, true, bro. Holy fuck.
We can slice and dice and define the problem in many ways, and one way to do it is to say, super large zones feel tedious to clear. For myself, when I reach Act 3, 10 times out of 10, I just feel bored. There's no challenge. Which leads me to my next piece of feedback. If I could change one thing, it would be the player speed, movement speed, skill speed, and, well, everything. I don't believe combat needs to be slow to be meaningful or engaging. In its current state, it feels tedious and ultimately boring. So no surprise here, my first character was a Huntress, first playthrough. Not the most compelling or engaging experience. When I play games and I'm struggling, when I'm facing a challenge, my automatic response is some form of just get good. And this was somewhat true, as after I played multiple characters, improved my build, and with the multiple mob HP nerfs, it did start to feel better. But you know what?
Thing is, if players have roided out skill speed and cast speed, right, and movement speed, that means the monsters have to have roided out skill speed. I feel like people want to be able to traverse when they want to move. They want to be able to have a way of moving faster. I don't think they want everything to be faster. I think it's like, oh my god, I missed a guy back there, or like, I went the wrong way. I need to go down this direction, and I've just got to run from here to here. And you're just watching your guy walk, and you're like, fuck, bro, this sucks. And I feel like that gap would get filled up by having like a fucking just a ability that lets you traverse, right? Something like I don't know, maybe like Flame Dash or Leap Slam or one of these abilities that lets you just go, yeah. A mount. It's funny because a mount, like a non-combat mount, unironically, I think it's dog shit. I don't think it's a dog shit idea, but yes, it would do a similar sort of thing. But I don't think that's a play at all. I think it's far better if you just give players like some sort of traversal ability to just move. So then whenever you need to go, oh, fuck, I need to go there, and instead of just watching your guy run for like 20 seconds, you have like a button to press to like, okay, I need to move from here to here fast. Let me press this button. And your guy just does 10 seconds, and then you got to walk for a few seconds. Whatever, bro. Movements, I don't like the spam at all. Absolutely, it would have to have cooldowns and limits. 100%. Cooldowns and limits. A quick silver flask, a way to temporarily boost movement speed. So whether that be a movement skill or like a thing that just your character can like get a support champion. It's called sprint, and you press it, and your character like just goes he goes like twice as fast for 10 seconds. Like that would also work. A sprint would be fine. I'd be fine with sprint. I just feel like that. I feel like making everything faster is genuinely not a good thing in the respect that, I mean, dude, some of these boss fights, man, like Arbiter, it feels like fast, bro. I feel like it feels fast. It's already like, pew, pew, pew. I mean, you're reacting, bro. Some of these mechanics, the reaction time to that thing, if you make the players faster, well, then they need to make the boss abilities faster, and then everything's faster. And like, bro, my boomer brain, I don't think I'm going to keep up with that. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? The fuck? I think the main thing that makes you feel bored is when you realize, oh my God, I need to walk over there. That's so far away. And then you just to watch your guy run. And it's just like a shit feeling. Because you want to have a button to press to do something. Yeah. Move speed. I think a cooldown, some form of gated, restricted movement. Whether that be a fucking... I mean... I don't like little flash. Whether that be like a sprint ability, whether that be like a movement ability with cooldowns, whether that be I mean, I don't want to say mount, but like no, I really don't want mounts. So I'm not going to suggest mounts. They're just like fuck mounts.
Also made it feel better.
Fuck mounts.
I made the build work without Parry, and I don't know, man. Parry is just not it. It feels bad to use, and it removes the action from action RPG. I try to avoid saying things like it feels bad or it's not good. I try to discuss things with objective reasoning. But sometimes I think you just gotta trust the vibes, and this time the vibe wasn't it. To quickly reemphasize the player skill speed and movement speed issue, on the passive tree there's a keystone called Dance with Death. 25% more skill speed if using a spear and do not have an offhand equipped. That keystone in combination with some movement speed nodes made my character feel playable, or in other words, remove the temp chain's curse. I strongly believe that raising the default base movement speed by 40% and the base player's skill speed by 25% would do a lot of positive things for the game. I don't believe it's all doom and gloom.
But do you not think then they have to make... but then you have to make all the monsters move faster and all the monsters attack faster. So like 40%... I don't know, man. 40% is ridiculous. I definitely think the player can move faster. I agree that I think the player can move faster. He's saying 40% of base, by the way, Jay. I don't think he's saying 40% more.
Skill speed by 25. I believe that raising the default base movement speed by 40% and the
raising the default movement speed by 40%. He's saying 40% more, right? He's not saying, yeah. 140% of current value. Yeah, what are the current value is? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so, yeah, no, 40%. Nah. Bro. It's almost like the game needs sprint, bro. Like a sprint. Yo, imagine if the game had sprint. Like sprint. So 40% more, but it's got a bar. It's got a bar, and you got to press. It wouldn't work with click to move, would it? No, what I'm thinking is like, because think about it. That solves think about it. Sprint solves the exact problem I'm talking about. It's gated. It's when you need to move between, you need to traverse, right? You don't use it all the time. You need to traverse between A and B, and you want to go fast. Like, yeah. And then you press shift, and your guy just gets like 50% faster. Like, and it would work. I mean, it genuinely, hey, but no, I don't think it would work with click to move. And I feel like it's another keybind that people have to use. And on top of that, it's another resource that people have to track. Yeah, so it's probably not it. But like, you know, I think genuinely an ability that you can press that makes you go too faster temporarily for a period of time, or a travel skill. Yeah, a Quicksilver Flask. I mean, a Quicksilver Flask is kind of like sprint. Yes, you are right. Yeah, so a Quicksilver. Yeah, except I fucking don't like fucking flasks. I don't like utility flasks, bitch. I don't like utility flasks. I don't like them. I don't want Quicksilver. Okay? I don't like this whole flask thing where you gotta kill mobs to get charges and fucking you've got a flask. I just don't like flasks. If you had a combat plus 30% movement speed. Wow, that sounds like a... Yeah, I don't know, I mean, maybe, but yeah. I mean, that could work. Something like that as well. But then I don't know about that. I definitely think 40% base is kind of crazy. I think if you have a gated... If you had hit 40%, but it was a cooldown, that's fine. I think a cooldown based... Yes, like a Quicksilver, except it's this ability. Maybe a baseline ability that every character gets. Maybe it's called Sprint. You know? You get 1% move speed out of combat.
The base player's skill speed by 25% would do a lot of positive things for the game. I don't believe it's all doom and gloom. The impression I left with from last patch on early access launch was there is a solid foundation here. PvP2 has a chance to become an amazing game if they continue to listen and address player feedback. which leads me to the whole early access playtest thing. I see a lot of hand waving and dismissal of feedback with the line, but it's early access. And there is some truth to that. But then I look at how the game is marketed and how we didn't get updates for months in 0.1 and how each update is sold as a release game. And maybe I'm off base in interpreting it that way, but I feel like they're sending conflicting messages. And I don't believe I'm alone in this. I've been speaking to a variety of players in Discord calls in private, and the common thread between all of them is this frustration that they're being forced to QA test an unfinished game. Obviously, no one is...
Not being forced, little bro. You're not being forced, little bro. Okay? You're paying money. You're giving them money to do it, okay? Let's not get it twisted, okay? You're getting the money, okay? And you're liking it. Shut the fuck up. You're enjoying it.
Forcing anyone to do anything. The conversation after that usually leads to some sort of statement like this, that you don't have to playtest the game if you don't want to. But then, why do many of us continue to play Path of Exile 2 in its current state? Is it because of what we believe it would become, or is it something else?
It's both. It's a solid game, and you have passion, and so you want to get feedback. So it's worth going in and testing, so you can be like, oh yeah, I like this direction. Oh, I don't like this, and then they can no. The reality is, okay, you're projecting into the future. You're thinking, I love Path of Exile 1. I'm excited for Path of Exile 2. I'm going to try the new Path of Exile 2 updates, even though I understand it's early access and it's going to be jank, and then I'm going to voice my opinion. They can then use that data and those opinions and that feedback to then tweak the game and make the game that I want to play. Right? That's what it is, right? It's for posterity, okay? Purposes. 100%. You are doing it because you are investing. And on top of that, the game is pretty decent. Right? The game is decent. So you're playing the game, you're having a decent amount of fun. I would assume you're having a decent amount of fun, and you're giving feedback. So it's like it's a win-win all around. You're just like, and yes, you are a paid beta tester. You're a paid beta tester. But that's what you accept whenever you see a game that says early access. Warning, this game is in early access and is being actively developed. There's going to be volatile changes and fucking patches that break the game. It's like you read the disclaimer, it pops up, you say yes, you put in your credit card, you buy the fucking thing. I mean, shit, bro. And then all around, I think it's a good process. And I think for a game that's live access, I think early access actually does make sense because you're developing it hand in hand with the community, which works. Now, if it was a story game, of course, I think fuck that. You're just gonna pull half the story and it's not gonna work out that well. You just better off fucking just raw dogging it. But this is a live access game that you're supposed to play for many, many hours. So I feel it makes total sense to do early access, and it makes sense to beta test, especially if you're a passionate Path of Exile player.
That's something else I believe is the fact that GGG has generated a lot of goodwill over the last decade with Path of Exile 1. And to be frank, that goodwill is not an infinite resource. There's only so much of it. And if you're only a PoE 1 enjoyer, I can definitely understand and empathize with how things are currently going. Along with the people at GGG, I know there's good people at GGG, and I know that scaling business is hard and managing various development pipelines is challenging.
I agree with them in the respect that the community perception, you build up a certain amount of goodwill, and if you're in the good boy books, you can kind of get away with making mistakes. And if you're if you don't have good boy points, you can't get away with shit. Now, I feel like it's woo. All that really matters is, in the reality though, all that matters is action and what they're doing, and is the game good? And what there is that, I don't know what you want to call it. There's I feel like there's reality. Is what I'm trying to say is there's optics and there's reality. An entire portion of a community can be pissed off and triggered. And the reality is the game can be fucking decent, and it doesn't matter that these guys they can run out of their fucking optics, goodwill, whatever. People like me can be like, D4 is dog shit. Get a tattoo saying D4 bad. Everyone can agree D4 is bad, but then actually it's still commercially a successful game that lots of people are playing because fucking it's got cinematics and good marketing, and some guy likes to sit on his couch and press the X button every now and then. That's the reality, right? And I don't think they are like connected at the hip. I'm yapping a bit. Does it make sense? You understand what I'm saying here?
I'm not expecting solutions overnight. I don't think anyone realistically is. And it's probably going to be a while before PoE 2 is a game that we're, falling in love with. Like a game that we're just like dying to come home and play. One last thing, speaking of things that define the genre, I would say build creativity and player expression is one of them. Another change, a simple change that I believe would help amplify these aspects in PoE 2 would be to sell uncut skill gems and uncut support gems at the vendor for a reasonable amount of gold. The uncut support gems in particular should not be so rare, especially if the game is supposed to be accessible and creativity is to be encouraged. And like you should just have the ability to just like mess up, but then solve the problem afterwards. Anyways, I don't really plan on posting more videos like this on this channel.
Wait, does that? I don't know. Maybe you get. I don't know. Definitely adds an insane level of determinism. Which obviously, if you're a speedrunner, that's what you want. It does. It would reduce the feeling of excitement that you get when you get those early support gems. But then it would, at the same time, so you reduce the POG levels of getting a support gem, but at the same time you reduce the cancel level of not getting a support gem. Does it cancel out? I get excited when I get a support gem. What do you mean? On your first character, when you've got 2 sockets and you got nothing in it and you got like 3 abilities, what are you talking about? Whenever I see a support gem, I'm like, oh shit. I instantly like am excited to click on it and be like, 20% more damage, bro. What are you talking about? Chat, getting support gems is POG. I get excited when I see a support gem drop. All right, especially when I go from tier 1 to tier 2, and then I get even more excited when I see the tier 3 support gems. And then once you've been in match for a bit, it starts to be like, I got like fucking 20 of them in the bank, so who gives a fuck? Yeah, they play. I don't know what to tell you. Thanks, science for a living. Well, I don't know what to tell you. You're trading it. It's a trade-off, right? You're basically reducing RNG. You're increasing determinism, but then that means you reduce the excitement. But then you increase like you reduce the lowest point of getting whatever you want to call that dissatisfaction. Like you're basically trading in the extreme ends of dissatisfaction for the high ends of the satisfaction, and you just basically bring it together.
Maybe I will. We'll see.
It's like you could start making all uniques, buy them from vendors, right? Because you can't consistently get it, so just like you just buy it for a reasonable amount of gold, and then you just make all loot you can just grind it out eventually. You can just make it so loot doesn't drop anymore. You just buy like triple tier 1 rares from a vendor, but you have to do like 70 maps versus it just drops randomly with randomly generated shit, and then every time you ID it, it's exciting, and then you can get randomly exciting. It's like, oh, if I do 70 maps, I'm going to get this item versus I could get an item in this next map, or I could not. So I think it doesn't really matter. It's just a trade-off, eh?
I've honestly been really looking forward to playing PoE 1 again. I'm looking forward to 326. Every time I log into PoE 1 after playing PoE 2, I just think, damn, it's kind of fun. And I'm playing like a level 1 Marauder or something. Not some tricked out endgame character. In the short term, I do plan on playing some other classes, mostly just in the campaign. Right now, I'm not interested in Path of Exile 2's endgame whatsoever. Maybe that will change in the future. More videos soon, and I hope this message goes to the right place, and I hope changes occur. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a great day, Exiles. Bye.
Pretty succinct feedback there. He's passionate, and he says what he thinks. I appreciate it. Don't necessarily agree with everything he's suggesting. I definitely think speeding up the whole game is bad. I absolutely agree, though, that it feels bad to want to be at B and you're at A, and you can see all that is between you and where you want to go is just holding the W key, but you just have to watch your character walk there slowly. And that's like, it feels boring and shit. There should be something you can do. Whether that is like a gap, like a movement skill, a Quicksilver Flask, or some sort of sprint. Whatever. I don't think checkpoints as the player, though. I hate them. I think they're a band fix. I think, and I don't think just making every single part of the game faster as a player either. It's just like we had a button we can press, Flying mounts, guys? Yeah. Flying mounts. That'd be good, dude. Holy fuck! What's the timer for? The timer was for my character to log out to reset the map.